Welcome back to another episode of Happy Hour here on the Filmaholic channel. This is our weekly movie news show, and we have some good topics to talk about today. We certainly have a bunch of DC movie news to talk about, so if you are a fan of that, you'll be happy. Let's go ahead and just knock that out right away, because we have like 4 or 5 different DC topics to dive into, and that's probably going to take up the bulk of our time here, and then we'll get to whatever else we get to. So I would say, well, the biggest DC movie news that came out this week, Zack Snyder, that movie, the Snyder Cut of Justice League, that came out last week, and we covered that on the channel. But this week, I've said the biggest news is Henry Cavill is returning as Superman, or at least he's in talks, and it seems like it's pretty much official at this point that he's returning to the DCEU to play Superman. Now, for fans of this, before you get super excited, you're going to get a new Man of Steel movie. Maybe not, probably not. Once again, they have no idea what to do with this character, except for people got upset that they weren't going to do anything with him, so then they were like, oh, let's go get him and do something with him. But we still don't understand Superman, so we're not doing a Man of Steel 2, or hiring anyone who cares about Superman to make a Man of Steel 2. Instead, we're going to put him in a bunch of other movies. And I'll talk a little bit about that moving forward, too, in regards to something else. But the rumor was they want to use him like Marvel uses the Hulk in the MCU. And
which is stupid.
That his first return to the DCEU outside of the Snyder Cut would be a cameo of sorts. I read in one article, like some of the articles vary on like how much of a big role he was going to have in the movies or whatever. I read one article that said they were going to start off with that, showing him as a cameo or whatever, and then we would actually see a Man of Steel 2 because the Snyder Cut of Justice League was going to set up a Man of Steel 2, which I don't necessarily believe that because I don't think they have any plan. And the only way I see that as being real is if you bring Snyder back to do a Man of Steel 2, which I don't think that's happening, but maybe, with the big fan reaction to the Snyder Cut when that comes out, could they work with him again? I don't know. That's really like, does he want to work with them after they treated him that way with Justice League, is my thing. Like, you could take do something else. But, I mean, if you're really passionate about the characters, whatever. But just in terms of them using him like the Hulk, I think that's ridiculous. Marvel uses the Hulk that way because they can't make a solo movie with him unless they work with Universal with the rights.
Well, and he's a small character.
The Hulk?
Small compared to
compared to Superman.
Yeah, yes. It'd be like them doing the same thing with Iron Man. After Iron Man 1, we're just going to sprinkle you in throughout the Marvel universe.
Yeah. But I mean, if you look back at the MCU in terms of the beginning of the MCU, the Hulk was actually a bigger character than, say, Iron Man at the beginning, and like as far as people knowing about him. Yeah. But that's why they didn't make, aside from the Incredible Hulk not doing as financially well as, say, Iron Man or whatever, the reason they haven't made another movie within the 3 phases was because of Universal. And if they do make another Hulk standalone movie, it's probably going to be something else with him in it, as kind of like a Thor Ragnarok situation, I would think. But yeah, nowhere in size compared to the character of Superman, one of the biggest comic book characters of all time.
Yeah.
Despite him not ever, I don't think, getting the best on-screen treatment, he's still Superman. And the whole idea, the whole thing of you even looking at making a Supergirl movie and not making a Man of Steel 2 is outrageous to me. Like, if you don't understand what to do with the character, find someone who does. There's plenty of people that I'm sure know what to do moving forward with the Superman, with Henry Cavill. So this is crazy to me. Especially, like, I mean, if you want to use him like that, but also have a Man of Steel 2, okay, whatever. But not doing a sequel with him is crazy to me. And this kind of ties into another thing here that I have with the whole, like, what the Snyder Cut may set up. And I don't know if you saw my thing on Facebook when I shared the thing. I was just like, make a Justice League 2.
Yeah.
Like, I hate Justice League, the one we got right now. I'm hoping the Snyder Cut's better. But regardless of my opinion of that, Wonder Woman is successful. People like that. Aquaman, for some reason, was successful. People liked it. People want Henry Cavill to come back. You don't know what you're doing with Flash, obviously. There were some other characters Snyder set up. You know, he's going to end up showing in his Snyder Cut now, like Martian Manhunter, Atom, maybe Green Lantern, because I know he was supposed to be in the original cut, like an after-credit scene, I think. So make a Justice League 2 with whatever this Snyder Cut sets up. Whether or not you bring Snyder back as the director, I probably would go with a different director and maybe bring Snyder in as a producer. Make that, because you got the characters. I feel like that'd be financially successful at this point. Yeah. The only thing with that is you got to worry, what's the deal with Affleck? You got to get Affleck back. Because I don't see you making a Justice League movie without Batman. You could do it, but I think it's silly.
Terrible idea.
I would be fine them passing the mantle to Dick Grayson, but you haven't set Dick Grayson up. So you still got to bring Affleck back for that.
Batman Beyond. We'll bring him back for that.
We're not doing that, dude.
That's what's happening.
But yeah, so I know that originally in Snyder's, I read, and who knows, the Snyder plan that I had read about the 3 Justice League movies that he had planned, I think Batman was supposed to die in the 3rd one. When Darkseid actually came to Earth, because they're supposed to go to space in the 2nd one to fight Darkseid. And then Darkseid was supposed to come to Earth in the 3rd one, and he was supposed to die fighting. Continue with that. If you can lock Affleck in for 2 more movies, or even if you could lock him in for one more movie, if that's all you can get him for, bring him back and kill the character off fighting Darkseid in the next movie. You know, that way, and I think that can work. I think it can work having this version of Batman played by Ben Affleck that a lot of people do want to see come back. I want to see him come back as Batman. I think if you have him in those movies and you establish that that's one thing, and then the Pattinson's Batman's a different thing, I think it can work. We've seen it work with Joker now a little bit. It's sort of different because they're not. There's a 3-year gap between the time we saw Jokers, but people know now that Joker's not in the DCEU.
Yeah.
So I think it can work. I think you can establish those being separate and just have him in the Justice League films. With that being said, and this isn't a big news article, so I wasn't even sure if I want to talk about it. I don't know if you read it. I saw it on Facebook, and it came out recently, so I do want to touch upon it because it speaks on the Affleck thing. But I read that the DC or the Warner Brothers is wanting Affleck to come back. And like I don't know, this is a small article, but it's worth me talking about. It says they wanted him to come back, and they were wanting to take another look at his script for his Batman that he wrote, because it was a movie about him versus Deathstroke, and they want to take another look at that. I see. That's where I'm like, I wouldn't have 2 Batman movies coming out at the same time. I think he can work. I think you could actually use him, bring Affleck back, his Batman, and sprinkle in him like the Hulk, in terms of the Justice League movies in the DCU, and then have Pattinson's in his own thing. But a standalone movie with him and Deathstroke, I don't know how that works. That gets a little.
Deathstroke, so.
I would like to see it if Affleck's directing it. If he's coming back as Batman, he's directing this film with him as Batman and Joe Manganiello. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
If he's playing Deathstroke, like, I would like to see that. But I just don't know, like, financially as a studio, does it make sense to do that? Now, maybe this would be a 4-part miniseries on HBO Max, but I don't know if you can get Affleck for that. So if you could, I think that would work, but I don't know.
Count me out. Not interested.
I would be interested in that. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. But they've already also, another thing too with having 2 Batmans at the same time, if that was to come into play, which I don't think it's ultimately going to happen. They've already set up that the DC has multiple universes. I don't watch the shows, but I know in the shows they've set that up, and Ezra Miller's Flash popped into the show to show that the DC movies are connected to the shows within the same whatever you have that they have, which I don't think Ezra Miller's coming back either.
No, he's not.
Who knows? Moving on from both of those topics, we got a couple more. Speaking on the Snyder Cut, Zack Snyder released a photo this week. I know you said you were super excited. He released a photo of Darkseid and other stuff that I don't know what's happening. And he said, I forgot what he said actually, but what did he say? He's here or something? I don't know. But
I don't know, dude.
I was so excited I did a backflip off the balcony.
Yeah. So you made it. That picture is garbage.
It looked like a shot of a video game. I thought it was a video game. I thought it was. I didn't even when I first saw it, I thought it was a fake photo, and then I had to go and look that it was actually coming from his Twitter account.
Yeah.
It didn't excite me at all because, like you said, you couldn't see anything. I couldn't tell.
Far away.
And a couple things with this. So one, it was never confirmed, but it was always talk that Javier Bardem was doing the voices Darkseid. At least that was what I was under the impression. So when this news came back and they said that he was returning, and maybe he still is doing the voice, but at this point I doubt it. Snyder announced this other guy who I've never seen before. No offense to him. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. He can still do the job, but I've never seen him before, and he's coming in and playing Darkseid. Now, that just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean,
he wasn't letting them do reshoots.
The what?
I thought they weren't letting him do reshoots.
No, I think he already played Darkseid.
Oh.
But he wasn't in the film, so they never announced it. But he announced it recently. I looked at this guy's Instagram page, and I don't know who he is. He's just he's an actor, but he's just playing Darkseid. I'm
crushed it.
I mean, you got Josh Brolin to play Thanos, and this is the level of a villain that's supposed to be in the DC universe, and you just get some random person. Sick. But also too, unless this is setting up a Justice League 2 or a Man of Steel sequel or whatever they end up doing with Darkseid, unless they're setting that up, who cares about Darkseid even being in the movie? Because he's not going to be in enough of it to affect anything. He's still not the villain of the movie. I imagine he's probably going to be in 2 scenes. Probably one at the beginning, one of those whatever showing what he's doing on different worlds, and maybe him talking to Steppenwolf, and then probably him in a scene at the end, which will hint at setting something up that may never come. So, but moving on from that, I got 2 more DC topics.
Just never stop.
The next one is David Ayer said he wants to make a Suicide Squad director's cut for HBO Max, like the Snyder Cut. Now, if this happens, I'll watch it, because I actually don't hate Suicide Squad. I don't like it. It's not good, but I gave it a 2.5. The characters in it are good. I liked what they did with the characters. And there was potential there. It was just sloppy editing, not a clear vision.
Studio interference.
Here's my thing. Everyone knew there was studio interference from the beginning.
Well, you didn't know the second trailer.
Well, right. But for years now, we've known about it.
Yeah.
Before the movie even came out. This dude I'm pretty sure he stood by that this was his cut, though.
This is mine.
After the movie came out, he was like, there's no other cut. This is my Suicide Squad. What you got?
Oh.
Other than there being maybe a few scenes cut out of the Joker that we knew about, which Jared Leto spoke of, this was his vision. I think maybe he was just trying to play nice with DC, because I think at the time that he thought he was going to get that Gotham City Sirens movie that never happened for some reason, and we got Birds of Prey instead. Now he's saying he wants this, and then we didn't get his cut, so now he's going back. And he's like, well, Snyder got his own cut of Justice League. I want my cut of Suicide Squad.
Oh, dude.
Which makes no sense to me either. And I don't know. Are you guys going to do this? Because at this point, even if that comes out in 2021, you're going to release this cut of this 5-year movie, 5-year-old movie on HBO Max the same year that another Suicide Squad movie is coming out that takes it in a different direction.
Yep.
Makes no sense. And I don't I would not do it if I was a studio, but they make some iffy choices.
They'll probably the same day the new one comes out.
Probably.
Just watch them both. Just watch them both.
And then the last topic for WB that I have is there has been discussions about a new film featuring Harley Quinn. We knew this was coming. Obviously, they really like that character, pushing that character for some reason. Obviously, Margot Robbie is great. One of my favorite actresses. She does a good job with Harley Quinn. Unfortunately, she's been put into not very good films with the character. But also, that's another thing about your whole universe, that you are making mistakes. Why is Harley Quinn your pushing character in the DC universe? Like, what is happening? This would be her third film, and like, you still haven't got a Man of Steel 2.
You're not getting Man.
Green Lantern's nowhere to be found.
I'm not getting Batman Beyond. You're not getting Man of Steel 2.
Dude, you and like 5 other people want the Batman Beyond movie.
Well, that makes 6 of us.
And it's like, I don't know what is this going to be. Obviously, it's not a Suicide Squad movie. I don't think it's Birds of Prey. I mean, I hope it's not Birds of Prey. If you can make another one of those, just make it about the Birds of Prey. Introduce Batgirl into there. Don't bring Harley Quinn back. The main thing that would make the most sense to me would just call it Harley Quinn, and because that's what you want to do with Birds of Prey, anyways. Don't know why you just didn't do it. I think this film, what they should do, is bring Jared Leto's Joker back as the villain.
You lost me, dude.
I think he did a good job. I think people overreacted his performance. I wanted to see more of it with a different director behind it. See what they could do with what you set up in Birds of Prey. Make a Harley Quinn movie, call it Harley Quinn, and have Joker be the villain of the film. Because it was odd. It felt odd purposely not showing him in Birds of Prey to me. Bring him back as the villain of this movie and have maybe even kill him off at the end or something. And show her overpowering him, defeating him. That's what I would like to see. No, not for it.
I don't want to see any DCU movie. I've been burned too many times.
Or here's another idea. I would still bring him back as the villain. I really think they should do that because, I think he should have been in Birds of Prey at least. They went out of their way not to show him. And it was because of Jared Leto and whatever. But bring him back as the villain. Even if you don't just have it be Harley Quinn, you could have it be Gotham City Sirens too, which I don't think they're going to do that because that's another thing where it's like, if you do a Gotham City Sirens, then you're going to have 2 Catwomans at the same time. So, I don't know. But that's my last WB topic, or DC Universe, so you're happy there. The next one, Sonic the Hedgehog movie. They're making a sequel. It's going forward. Same director, Jeff Fowler's returning, and the writers, Pat Casey and Josh Miller. I liked Sonic. I found it to be enjoyable. Wasn't great, but I enjoyed it. I'll be down. I'll watch the sequel.
Yeah, not much of a surprise since you set it up anyway.
Right, and whatever that new creature is at the end is going to be in the sequel.
That's Tails.
I don't know the lore, dude.
It's from the video game. It's just another character.
Okay, well, I didn't play the video game.
Well, then you're like the movie.
I'll watch it.
This new character. It's an old character from the video game.
And Paramount, they are also partnering with Apple for Martin Scorsese's new film, Killers of the Flower Moon. We heard about this a while ago. We didn't know what was going to happen with it. Obviously, Paramount had it, but then they were like, I don't know about this whole your budget thing. And now, so Paramount is the distributor. They are putting it in theaters, I guess, and are putting it out there. And Apple is the one financing the film. Yeah. And being the creative studio behind it, which makes a lot of sense. But also, I don't know, it feels like, too, if Apple was doing it, why would Apple not want it to go exclusively to their service? Maybe it's a thing where it's going to be in theaters, but then you're going to have a time after it goes from theaters to it's going to go to Apple before it comes out on everywhere else.
That's what I think, just for the Oscars.
Yeah.
Same thing with Irishman. That's what it's going to be.
which will be interesting because I don't know if Apple has done a film like this before. I don't think they have.
Just The Bank, but I think that was their movie.
The what?
The Banker. Guy who plays Falcon.
Oh yeah.
He was in it because I know it got released up here before like Corona ruined everything. But that's an Apple TV movie.
Well, doing it again here. I knew that if they were going to make it, I don't think it was going to go to like straight to a streaming service though. With DiCaprio involved, I couldn't imagine it going straight to Apple. I felt like it would be in theaters at least to begin with. But that happened. Cate Blanchett. This will be one that you're happy about. She's officially starring in Eli Roth's Borderlands movie.
Yeah, I saw that today.
This was rumored a while back, and now it's confirmed. My thing is, like, does she need money? What's happening?
Do whatever you want, man. Makes you happy, I guess.
I just can't understand
games, so I don't.
I had the first game. I played it. It wasn't for me. It's essentially the vibe I get, and I don't want people like getting upset. Like I'm saying that because it's probably completely different, but it's like a Mad Max Fury Road type thing. That's what I get from it. Post-apocalyptic. Got Nicholas Hoult. Could be the same character.
We'll find out.
I don't know. It's not for me. I can tell you that right now. And I don't even know. I don't know what her character, if she's actually playing a character from the game or if this is like a new character or what's happening. But just like she is an A-list actress. I don't know why she's being in this film. Especially too, you got Eli Roth directing it. I've never been like blown away with him.
Nope.
Outside of him being in a Tarantino film, so I can't imagine this being amazing. Also, Leigh Whannell, is that how you pronounce his name?
The guy who did Invisible Man.
Yes. So he is making a sequel series to Upgrade.
Yep.
How do you feel about that?
Excited.
I liked Upgrade. I thought it was good. I think other people liked it a little bit more than I did.
I did.
How much? What rating did you give it? Do you remember?
I gave it a 4.5, dude.
Damn, I gave it a 3.5.
Dude, I love it. That's my kind of movie right there.
It was good, but yeah.
And I thought it was going to be awful from the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it blew me away.
I don't know. I'm excited for the series. Hopefully it brings the same cast back and it's like actually connected and it's not like what? Did he die at the end?
Yeah.
I don't remember the end of the movie, so.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Oh well, less excited for the movie now.
I think it's a show.
I don't know.
I think it's going to expand because the I guess it's an AI or whatever you want to call it took over. So.
That's one I need to rewatch because I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters. And that was what, 2018? Been 2 years.
Yes.
Doug Liman, him and Tom Cruise are reuniting again. He's going to direct the space movie that Tom Cruise and Elon Musk are teaming up for.
Oh, they're teaming up for the wrong movie.
I'm just so happy they're doing this instead of Edge of Tomorrow too.
That's the movie I should be getting right now.
Like you've been teasing that for years, for like 6 years now, that you were going to make a sequel.
Nope.
And now it's just like, oh, we have the time to work together again, but instead we're going to do the space movie that no one cares about.
I wish you would just make that movie in space.
You could. Maybe they'll announce that. That'd be awesome.
Like, hey, look, we'll do your space movie, but it's Edge of Tomorrow too. That's the deal. Now, I'm hoping that's the secret, is you're just keeping that hidden.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, outside of Mission Impossible, has his standalone films really been that successful recently? Tom Cruise? I like Tom Cruise, but
was not the second one.
The first one, the first one I thought was good, but I didn't watch the second one because they got terrible reviews. But still, Jack Reacher was what, 2012, 2013? It was a while ago.
Like I say, Edge of Tomorrow, that was a big hit, but no one cares now.
Well, Oblivion, that's this space movie. That's what I'm thinking of.
Well, I didn't watch that one.
I didn't either, but that's like the vibes I'm getting when I'm like, I hear in this like space movie, Doug Liman's coming in to direct. I'm like, oh man, is this gonna be Elysium? They're gonna like spend this insane budget on going to space, and then no one's gonna care.
That wasn't Was that Doug Liman?
Maybe not. I don't know.
I thought that was
No, that's the director who went on to do. He's doing Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
He also did
Where you disrespect.
Only
the brave.
Tron.
Only the brave, man.
Okay.
How dare you?
Margot Robbie, we were just talking about her. She's also going to be producing a series with the Peanut Butter Falcon directors. And the series is going to star Caitlin Dever and Joey King. Joey King, what do you think?
Yeah.
I like Caitlin.
I'm not a big fan of Joey King. I don't.
I'm not either, but that's not. I'm not going to star my nose up at the project. I mean,
but I do love those directors. So
I thought they did a great job. So you got Caitlin Dever in there as essentially probably the star Margaret is producing. I think it could be something special.
Shia. Bring him back, dude.
Maybe he'll pop up. Another thing about like series. Well, got two more series things. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series is in the works at Amazon, but it's not going to be any relation to the books.
What?
It's not. They're not adapting any of the books. They're just making a series.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
I'm just like, man, can you leave this character alone? I'm tired of hearing about it. Damn. I mean, like, you had the original. Obviously, they're books first, but then you had the original foreign films that they made. They made like 3 or 4. I know they made a 3. I think did they make a 4th one?
I thought it was just trilogy.
Okay, maybe they just made the 3 movies and there was a 4th book or something. I don't know, but then they made the David Fincher remake, Americanized, whatever, which I watched. It's the only the film that I've watched, and it wasn't bad. I had problems with it, definitely for sure.
I've heard the foreign films are a lot better.
Maybe some of the problems I had with the movie, I don't know. I'd have to watch the foreign films to see, and I just don't think I cared enough to do it. But they also made the sequel, The Spiders, Girl with the Spider, whatever. And it wasn't successful. People didn't care. They didn't come out. And which also is like, man, why didn't you bring Rooney Mara back?
And David Fincher.
And Daniel Craig.
Nope.
You just recast. I mean, like, if David Fincher didn't come back, because he did produce that movie, I think, you could bring in a new director, but you got to bring the same cast back, man. Because now you just switched up again. This is the 3rd time, like, within a decade that you got a new actor playing the same character. Is this Spider-Man? Like, what's happening? Like,
could be.
People don't care. And now you're making this show, and the show will probably be more successful than that last movie. You probably should. Yeah. I guess people watch Jack Reacher. I've never watched it. I just don't care, even though it's got John Krasinski with it. But they just. What did I say? Jack Reacher? Jack Ryan. Too many Jacks, man. We just don't need them.
Everybody's Jack.
Same thing. Talk about Jack Ryan. In the Chris Pine movie.
Yeah. Shadow Recruit.
Awful. And the last thing about shows, George Lucas, I read an article about him, how he scrapped Star Wars Underworld. This was a series that, and I don't know if you've heard a lot about it, but it was supposed to be the first live action Star Wars series, back when he still owned it. There was so many episodes written. He just got like a bunch of people in. He said, "Don't worry about the budget. We'll figure it out later. Just write the script the way you want it." And they had like an idea. It was a connected story, but like they were doing some different stuff in each episode. It sounded pretty cool, but he never could figure out the technology that he wanted to use to do it, which turns out like he went on to the set of Mandalorian, and what they're doing on the Mandalorian with the set, you need to watch the behind the scenes stuff, because this is actually pretty cool. Like I watched the
show too.
You need to watch the show too. Yeah, watch the show, then watch the behind the scenes stuff. But there's an episode where they talk about all just the technology and how where they film the Mandalorian is this huge room that's a circle, and it's pretty much like computer screens that line up the whole thing. So like the outer side of the set is all computer screens that bring you into the location where it's supposed to be. They go and like film that location elsewhere, and then they put it on the screen. So like, and then they make the ground like actually like the set and everything. So there's a scene where they're in a tunnel in the finale, and they're going through the tunnel, and there was the character in the interview they were talking to, or actor in the interview, he's saying like when they filmed that scene, it felt like you were actually going down a tunnel because it was moving around the sides and everything. Anyways, George Lucas went onto the set and watched them film some of this stuff. And this is the technology that he wanted at the time to make like Star Wars Underworld and like push things forward, but he just couldn't do it at the time. And Kathleen Kennedy talked about it too, how he had built something sort of similar at Skywalker Ranch, but it just wasn't the same, and then it wasn't working for him. So that's unfortunate that we didn't get this, but it also brings me to like, dude, this is another. You already have the screenplays too. Like these are written. Why don't you move forward and make this a show?
We're not making it, dude. Nothing George Lucas says is not happening.
Like you have, and this is supposed to be like around the prequel era, so it's like it's not like it's affecting your sequel films or whatever. Make the show. You have the episodes written. You can even like financially, you can market it as from the mind of like that George Lucas had, whatever. Like you can market it that way, and it's a shoe-in of people going to tune in to check it out. Nope. Just don't care. Cassian Andor. Oh, and here's some news for you too. Woody Allen. He isn't worried about being blacklisted from Hollywood. He's gonna, he keeps defending what he did, or what he did or did not do. He's defending himself, and he also says that he's still got to keep making movies because he still hasn't made a great film. I agree. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. The last two topics I have here. I don't know. Jurassic World. We'll talk about that first. Jurassic World Dominion. Apparently, this is supposed to be the third film in the Jurassic World trilogy, which is the sixth film of Jurassic Park overall. Colin Trevorrow is coming back to do this one. He did Jurassic World. He's coming back to do this third one. We've all thought it was pretty much the end. For right now, maybe down the line they'll do something else. But anyways, Jurassic World Dominion will not end the franchise. Instead, it's going to be the start of a new era.
Just kill me.
And I mean, I'm not going to say I'm not going to go watch them. But Jurassic. This franchise has never been incredible. Let's just start there. I know there's a lot of fans of Jurassic Park. The first film is perfect to me. 5 stars. I love the Jurassic Park. And then the other ones are watchable. Like 2's not bad. 3
are watchable.
2 is good, I think, but not great. 3, I can watch it because I grew up on it, but it's not a very good movie. 4, good, not great. Screenplay could have been better, but it's all right. And then the 5th one was just awful. So I'm very cautious with this one. It's bringing Colin back, so I think it's going to be on par with Jurassic World at least. Like I think it's going to be fun, whether or not it's not going to reach the level of the first film. They're never going to reach that again. I don't think, in terms of being good. Which I'm not holding it up to that standard, but there's no reason you can't make a 4-star film at least with this franchise. Like,
please.
But yeah, just announcing that just bums me out. Because first of all, like, does it need to end the franchise? Probably not, but it needs to feel like it's going to be the end of the franchise. I'd feel like, because that's what I went into this film thinking. But now you're telling me it's not. Now when I watch it, I'm just going to feel a different way than I would have if I thought this was the end. Like, now I know you're just, what's coming next? This is the last film with all these characters, but we're bringing, I don't know. The only thing in terms of this that kind of makes me excited for what I hope is I hope the dinosaurs just wreck everyone at the end of this movie.
It's happening.
And that when we make a 7th one down the line, which is the start of a new era or whatever, if it starts a 7th one, have it be like Planet of the Apes.
They're going to talk.
I'm not going that far. Maybe they'll just. I don't know. I don't know.
You lost me. It's over.
But have it like that where they have taken over the world again, and now it's theirs, and humans are small segment, small people, villages, whatever. But the dinosaurs are taken back over. That's what I want the movies moving forward to be. If you're going to keep making these.
Then you're gonna have to watch dinosaurs get murdered again.
There's only so much you can do, man. You're 6 films in.
End it.
Well, if they're going to keep making the movies, I mean, what are you going to do with the 6th one? The 5th one was unnecessary because really, when I went into the 5th one, I was like, oh man, I hope it starts with the dinosaurs just going and taking over the world, which is what I think we're going to get with Dominion, but that should have been the 5th one.
It doesn't matter what you want.
Instead, we got like a Scooby-Doo episode at this haunted mansion with like dinosaurs and like bad villains smothering people with pillows. What is clones?
Oh, yeah.
Hot mess. At this point, I would rather just see that original Jurassic Park 4 script where they had guns and were like, please make it happen. Cross it over with Fast. I told you, cross it over with Fast and Furious. They're running out of things too. Vin Diesel coming in, he's going to fight dinosaurs, or he's going to ride dinosaurs.
No, I want to see a fight. Like
he fights T-Rex.
Yeah, like put him up. Dude.
Yeah, he got to jump out of the way from the head and then get the punch in because the T-Rex can't punch.
Thought this was a street fight.
Yeah. He just gets bent in half, but he's okay. Okay, lady, put me back together.
Duct tape.
He's okay. No one dies in that franchise.
Nope, not for long.
And the last story that I have here is this. It's not a very big one, but talking about Scream 5, which I'm very excited for, but very worried at the same time. Neve Campbell is still not 100% on board. They interviewed her again recently when they were talking about different things, including Scream, and she said, "Hey, I'm not 100% on board yet, still, but she hopes that she can see eye to eye with the filmmakers." So I think it's interesting, and it like I said, it still makes me excited, but also worries me too that you're still not on board. Like, what is keeping you from being on board? Have you not seen the screenplay? Maybe she hasn't seen the screenplay, so she's like, I got to see the screenplay before I even consider doing this film. But like,
David Arquette said, I don't need it.
Yeah, he didn't need it. He was like, I did not work. I don't care what I'm doing. Kill me in the opening scene, make me the killer, whatever. I'm in.
Bring it on.
But I hope that that's the case, because I mean, if it's a situation where she read the script and was like, man, you're gonna have to change a bunch of stuff if you want me to come.
Let's talk.
I see you have Sydney here in one scene. I'm gonna need to be in the whole movie. So I don't know. That worries me. But that's all I have. Do you have any more topics that you can think of?
Nope.
All right. Well, that's our episode of Happy Hour for this week. We'll be back next week as well, every Friday with movie news. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel.